All right, guys, I'm back. Clearly, the video is going to be about the Benchmade Bailout. But first, I'll talk to you about a knife that I have on loan from a buddy of mine. And this is the Microtech SOCOM Elite. This is just the regular drop point tan handle. Pretty cool knife. I'll do a follow-up on this later on, but it's on loan. That's what I'm carrying today. But like I said, back to the Bailout. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys my initial thoughts. If you follow my Instagram, you kind of saw my straight out of the box thoughts. But I've had about a day to handle the knife. And first and foremost, I'll show you guys the box. Now, one thing that someone told me is they actually received an early copy and they were asked not to put this information out. So I don't know. I bought this knife. This knife was purchased from Bailout, not a store I've done a lot of business with. I think I bought one other knife from Bailout, but you know, I bought it retail. It's my knife, so we're gonna put this video out. This is the comparison between the Bailout and the Bug Out. You can see here that there are some differences in the handles other than just the length. You can see that there's a flare up here to the top of the Bailout handle, whereas the Bug Out is flat. And I'm sure that's, you know, for thrusting purposes. Since this is a Tonto blade, they want to try to keep your finger from sliding up onto that blade up there. It does appear to be a little bit wider. Obviously it's a little bit longer. There's this addition of the lanyard loop, which I'm not necessarily a huge fan of. Oops. You can see here, I'll give you a quick close-up of the knife. Also, shout out to Coach O. I finally got my life together and got a white reflector board, so hopefully the lighting has improved even more. You guys can see here, I know that's a question I had, and I know that's a question I got asked. You can see that this lanyard loop is integral to the knife. It is part of the backspacer, so I'm hoping that there will be something that can come out and replace that, which, you know, Rock Scale Design is my go-to place. Matt, great guy. The one thing I will say, the day I've carried this knife, I do find that this actual loop kind of can serve as a tab, and you can kind of pull this knife out of your pocket a little bit easier. Overall, I'm happy with the knife. It's a very thin grind, or should I say very thin blade stock. It does have, you know, decent geometry as far as the grind goes. Haven't measured it or anything like that. Keep in mind this blade is Cerakoted, so that's going to add to the thickness of the blade stock and the behind the edge thickness. You can see here that there's a nice swedge up top and there's a nice primary grind. You can see those secondary bevels right there. The tip is very sharp. I cut myself the first day. Now, the one thing I did notice, and I don't know if it'll come across in video here, the very tip of this looks a little brown. So I don't know if this was overheated or not, but just, you know, just a little observation in hand. And again, haven't had a lot of use on the knife. I've carried it about a day. Open up a package. I ended up cutting my dog's hair and I got a new pair of clippers, had to open up the tube of oil so I could lube the clippers up. So just, you know, some lighter use things worked fine. Obviously those were just a few tasks that I used it for. Just right out of the box. I wouldn't say the ergonomics are horrible or anything like that, but for me, I would have liked to see that more bug out style, flat top right here. The inside of these liners, I do think that I'm going to end up knocking these down. I'm not going to take this apart because taking Benchmades apart are a pain in the neck. The clip, depending on how I hold it, when I hold it like this, sometimes I feel like that clip kind of hits me right here. And it's a little bit uncomfortable. But again, I haven't really used this knife for extended periods of time. So this is just my initial thoughts. Overall, like I said, I'm very happy with the purchase. I don't regret it. I don't plan on selling this knife. I have no intent on not keeping this knife long term. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. Oh, the action. So you can see it does flip open pretty easily. and this is out of the box. I haven't lubed it or anything like that. It does have that Cerakote finish, so it's not it's smooth, but it doesn't drop shut. And I know that's a thing for some people. They want it to just drop shut, but you can't flick it out. It does drop halfway. And you know, just like any other Benchmade knife, you can flip it closed if you want to. It's not stiff or anything like that. There's no side to side play here. There's no up and down. Very solid knife. I'm looking forward to putting some use on this. I will follow up, but I know that the official release date is coming up on the 26th. So I don't know when I'll drop this video, but I'll probably drop it a day or two beforehand so you guys can kind of see this. I know a few other people have videos up, but just to give you guys a little something more to look at before you go out and decide if you're going to purchase the knife. Just something that you can get another person's perspective. Like I said, overall, for the $144 that I paid, I definitely don't have any major issues with it. And this will be a knife that I use personally. The way I see this knife being used is as a secondary blade, something I can kind of beat up on, something I don't necessarily care about. It's got that 3V steel, which if you guys know, I am a big tool steel guy. So 3V steel is going to be tough. Should hold an edge for a decent amount of time. This grind here, this swedge, and the thinness of this blade stock, along with that Tonto tip, that's going to make an awesome piercer. So, you know, it'll do some good piercing and everything. All the things that people say you shouldn't do with a knife. I think this is a good secondary backup knife to do those kind of things like that. But that's kind of my first take on the knife, guys. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, please post them down below. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. Remember, a lazy man carries a dull knife.